Probably because of what I do every day, people ask me, how do you become a life coach or a motivational speaker? I'll break it down for you today. I'm a professional psychologist. I'm a past president of the National Speakers Association. I'm a professional speaker. That's why I have some opinions about this. Let's start with 7 clarities that will be absolutely essential as you take a look at this question, how do I become a life coach, a motivational speaker? I think I can help you with that. We got to get clear about a few things. Clarity number 1, why would people listen to you? Now, this is not a confrontive question. It's simply one that I invite you to think about. Why would people listen to you? You got to have some answers to that. If you don't, how can you expect them to have a clear answer about why they should listen to you? This is one of the first things that you get to consider as you think about going this particular direction. You want to take the stage, you want to take the mic, you want to sit down with someone in possibly even a high-paying coaching situation. Why would they listen to you? So this gets down to expertise, experience, what knowledge you have, your skill sets. All of these become the why. One of my colleagues, Ty Bennett, tells a funny story about traveling on an airplane, and he's kind of casual. He's up in first class, but he's casually dressed. A woman next to him asks him, traveling for business or pleasure? And he says, oh, business. Really, what kind of work do you do? I'm a keynote speaker. And then she responded with, why would anyone listen to you? He tells this story because it's such a compelling example of why we all need to think about this question. And without getting defensive, just work on answering it. Why would they listen to you? I love Ty's answer too. He says, because I'm amazing. That's the kind of confidence we're looking for. Let's get a good answer and become clear about the why. Clarity number 2. Get clear about the who you get to speak to. Who do you want to speak to? Who do you want to work with? Who do you want to coach? And here's the thing that we run into all the time. Some of my licensees have come up with this. I just want to help everybody, Dr. Paul. Okay, awesome. And as long as you want to help everybody, you're not going to help anybody. That's far too broad. You got to pick a lane. You need to focus in first on those people who can uniquely benefit from the skill set and the knowledge and the why that we already talked about in clarity number 1. Clarity number 2, you get clear about the who. Who is your audience? What do they look like? What are their pain points? What is it that they're looking for? What do they need? What do they want? This is your audience, your tribe, so to speak. Seth Godin nailed this in his book, Tribes. You might want to take a look at it. It's a quick read, and it's really clear about this audience that is uniquely yours. It's your tribe, and you get to be the chief of this tribe. If you don't show up and lead them, nobody will. You got to get clear about who your tribe is. You're not going to please everyone. And this is a thick skin that we have to develop sometimes as thought leaders or as speakers or as coaches, because not everybody loves us. You just scroll through some of the comments on my YouTube channel. You're going to see some of them, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But there's others that say, oh, Dr. Paul, thank you so much for what you've done for me here on your channel. There's all kinds, people. And as long as you're trying to please everybody, you're not going to please anybody. So get clear about the who. Number 3, get clear about the what, meaning your topic. What is it? Again, here, when I train new licensees, I have someone come into my licensing program or they get some coaching from me about establishing their own coaching or speaking practice. And I ask them, well, who do you want to talk to? Oh, everybody. Well, what do you want to accomplish? I just want to help people. Could we be more vague? I don't think so. How do you want to help people? With what? Get clear about that what. It's just like the who. We want to pick a lane. We want to have a topic, a field of expertise. And do you have to be the expert? No, you have to be an expert. in that particular field. If you're not an expert, what business do you have coaching people in that area? So what if it's happiness or peace or mental health or how to fix a washing machine or whatever it is? Do you have expertise in that area so that you can actually establish the what? Here's how I'm going to help people. Now, I threw out the part about how to fix a washing machine. I have repaired now 4 major appliances in my home. I'm a psychologist, but I have coaches. Okay? And when I'm looking for someone to help me fix my dryer, I'm not looking for Mr. Motivational, you can do it sort of a speaker. I'm looking for the guy who knows how to fix a dryer. And quite frankly, I don't care how good of a speaker he is, as long as he can present his ideas in a way that I can understand and put me a YouTube video for that, I'm good to go. What is your topic? And it's okay if it's something as specific as how to fix a gas dryer. That's fine. In fact, in a lot of ways, that's better because you can define your audience a little more clearly and you'll get there a lot more quickly. Now, little caveat. A lot of people who want to go into life coaching, motivational speaking, they want to help everybody with everything. Okay, I get it because I've been there. I still struggle with that a little bit. Picking a lane actually helps you to broaden your audience later on. Because as you do a good job for your little niche audience, they start to talk to and spread that out to other people, other industries, other groups, other populations, so that you can take your message to other audiences at some point. But you're starting with this kind of niche market. These are my people. This is what I talk to them about and how I help them. That leads us to number 4, clarity about when. Is now the right time? I keep referring to my licensees. I've got about 10 people right now who are going through my program to become professional speakers or certified coaches. Some of them don't yet have the depth or breadth of experience that allows them to do that well. So they may choose, instead of now, to do it after they've engaged in any kind of particular learning experience for a while. A classic example is school. I went to graduate school to get a PhD in clinical psychology. I wanted to help people before I went to shrink school, but I decided that wasn't the right when for me. I wanted to pause some of what I plan to do eventually in order to go get myself that experience. So it might be experience or schooling or education or certification, or just giving yourself more time to clarify the what, like we talked about in the last point. Get clear about the when. Is now the right time? And if so, that's great. If not, what's next in order to get you to the point where it will be time? Now let's get practical for a moment. The next clarity is clarity about where. This might sound kind of silly to even mention, but a lot of people don't think about this. Where are you going to do what you want to do? You want to be a public speaker? You want to be a motivational speaker? Where do you want to speak? Because there's a big difference between taking the stage at a major event for a corporation or an association compared to taking the stage at a local service club. They're both legitimate venues and legitimate wheres. You approach them very differently in terms of the conversations and the relationships. You might also give some thought to, if I want to do personal coaching, do I have an office? I have here a professional office. We typically film Live on Purpose TV here at my office. This is where I sit and consult with my clients, and I do the coaching that I've sometimes referenced here on the channel. This is my where. But I've also got a closet over there that has all of my podcasting equipment, which doubles really nicely as a virtual office. So I get to have Zoom meetings or Skype meetings with some of my clients who are not in reach of my physical office. This is part of your becoming clear about the where. 2 more. Number 6, get clear about the how. This is where you want to develop the actual skill sets that will allow you not only to do some effective coaching or speaking, so you got to have platform skills and you have to have programs and processes that people can engage in. That's all part of it. It's also putting the personal development practices into place to keep you sharp, having a mastermind group, having a plan for ongoing education or certification or training. All of those contribute to clarity about the how. How am I going to actually do this? And then the last one. I like to throw this one in especially to keep us straight on the path that will help us to ethically and in a morally correct way really create value for people. There are always limits and ethics. So this final clarity is about the limits and the ethics to what it is that you're doing. To be a professional speaker, for example, you want to have your own stories. You hear me share stories. You'll hear other speakers sharing stories. You even heard me share some of my colleagues' stories here on today's video. You want to have your own stories that you can tell. Now, can it be a story about a colleague? Well, sure it can. If you know them and if you have a connection with them and if you give proper attribution, but you never own it as your story. Your stories are the things that have happened to you and the way that you have experienced your life, so that you can illustrate the principles. Now, you're going to hear awesome stories from other speakers. Do not steal them. It is a form of plagiarism or piracy to steal someone else's story. You don't want to do that. So get clear about the ethics. The other thing that I mentioned is limits, ethics and limits. There are limits to what you can do. I, for example, am a licensed psychologist. I have a professional degree and a license that allows me to diagnose and treat and create prevention programs for mental illnesses. That's what I'm licensed to do. I can do therapy, I can do assessment and testing. Now, you might want to do some life coaching. There are limits to what you can do as a life coach, as opposed to if you're a psychologist or a therapist or a counselor. Just get clear about what those limits are, because if you practice outside of your area of expertise or skill or licensure, you can not only get into a whole lot of trouble ethically and legally, but you can also do some damage out there when what you really want to do is create some value for some people. Let's get clear about all 7 of those areas, and then the practical part that comes after that is much easier because of the clarity. Not everybody is interested in this kind of an application, but if you are, you might want to follow up with me. I've got a website, liveonpurpose.coach, where you can learn more.